All right, Eric. Guys, I'm down here with Eric from Go Fast Goodies. He's got my car done, and we're going to take it to a dyno, and he's just going to tell you a little bit about what we've done to the car.
Basically, when this thing come in, had a lot of parts on it. Just had some issues with those parts. I had a tubular manifold on the car prior, and a 62 millimeter turbo. Car made great power at full boost, but we only saw full boost for about 500 RPM, so it was just short-lived fun for that matter. And we decided to go ahead and we kept the same exhaust housing, so it's an 82 hot side, so this is a very big 50 trim. Compared to most, a lot of them run 48 and 63s, which come up on spool a good bit quicker, but just don't make the top end power that this one does.
Right.
Ultimately, we did a custom fab intake because the intake that we got with it was a cold air, and obviously it didn't work with what we had. The car didn't have intake on it prior. When we got at the intake manifold, these are notorious for cracking if you use these. It's almost like a Honda spacer, from what I understand. So we took this to my good buddy Brandon. He TIG welded it real good. We haven't had any issues since, so that's all sewed up nice. When we got it, we had some fuel issues where the fuel regulator was loose, and just the design of how it was installed just really wasn't working out. So we got all of this tightened up, sealed up real nice. We added a catch can to the car. Car didn't have anything prior, so we got that on there. Obviously, making anything 20 pounds or more, you need something to catch the oil if it's making that kind of jam. With this car, I actually built a custom exhaust. So we wanted something to, prior it actually come out of the hood. So with this car being, a little bit more streetable than that, we did away with all that, replaced the cowl, and I did a no cat type full 3-inch 304 stainless exhaust. And it actually exits the car about here. It's angled down and out, so it blows away from the car and passengers in the car. So far it's worked out really good, and it sounds great, so I'm really happy with that. We put the rear coilovers on the car so we can get some adjustability there. It didn't have that installed. We adjusted the front up some. We was having some problems with the tires rubbing, and just needed a little bit more clearance, and that's no rub mixed with as good as it can look for the type of streetability we need with this car.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I mean, like when I brought it to you, the car had a lot of good stuff on it, and then I just wanted you to really fix that goofy hood exit exhaust so I could actually drive in the rain.
Right.
And then we ended up finding so many problems.
Right.
I mean, there for a bit, you were messaging me every day, and I was panicking. But man, this car has really turned out super nice.
It's not been anybody's fault, it's just some really odd hiccups. We actually had it done once with the big turbo, and then just after driving it, and just wasn't the experience that we were looking for, so we decided to go down to this 50 trim, and that was the best decision we ever made. And then ultimately, when we had it done, we had some cooling issues. The fan blades just didn't have fan blades. I don't understand what happened there. That's probably the oddest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the radiator had a slight leak, so I got this resealed up. We got the new fans put on it, and we got the new Duster Tune installed. With the new Duster Tune, whatever he changed, man, this thing is spot on. I haven't had to make any adjustments, and I really don't think I'm going to need to, because right now this thing is spot on and drives just like a stock one, other than when you get into boost.
Well, it's so funny about this car. Like when you look at it, I mean, obviously with the different front end and the wing, you can tell it's SRT4. But other than that, I mean, it looks relatively stock until you see those
the tires,
meat hangers hanging out the side of it, looking like these redneck 4x4s running around here.
And without these tires, this car right now would be useless.
Oh, it'd be absolutely useless. I mean, it's when this car starts pulling, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's a must.
And with the 50 trim, it's so much funner to drive than with that big turbo too. The big turbo, I mean, when it hit and was ridiculous, but this is so much more fun.
We did a lot with the interior of this car.
Oh yeah, forgot to even mention that stuff.
When we got it, that was probably one of the roughest places was the interior. We had gauges. All the gauges were just kind of hanging down here and just not secure. This was empty except for one gauge. Like, it was just a mess. So I'm really proud of how far the interior came on this car and how everything come together just as it should. I'm really happy with how all the gauges and everything lines out. We've got this cool camera mirror now that shows you front and back of the car. Like, it's got a lot of fancy stuff now for
Got the gap cam on there.
the gap cam, and somebody's going to definitely be on.
And I got front and back can run at the same time, so if I'm getting gapped, I can be humble and eat crow. All right, man, so we're gonna get it over to the dyno and see what it's gonna make.